Basketball has been an American sport for 122 years now. The game was created by James Naismith in 1891. From that point on, the game has evolved from kids playing in the driveway to high school basketball games, college basketball games, and lastly, the highest level playing basketball, the Women's National Basketball Association and National Basketball Association for Men. Have you ever wondered how much these WNBA players and NBA players get paid? Now it's time to get the truth and the differences between these professional WNBA players and NBA players of our time. We all know the famous NBA professional basketball players, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Steve Nash, Chris Paul, and Ray Allen. Most of them are known as the best men basketball players in the world as of now. With all the attention and sponsors, these men athletes make an average salary of about $5.15 million, which was recorded between the year 2010 and 2011, according to ESPN News. Keep in mind this is only an average. Some men are receiving even more. The men are making fortune playing the one sport they love, basketball. They aren't only professional athletes, but they also have become famous stars to the public. Some of these men also have clotheslines such as Michael Jordan jackets, Steve Nash shoes, and Kobe Bryant headphones, which is extra money that these players are making. Now let's take a second to stop and ask ourselves, do we know who Tina Charles, Candace Parker, Maya Moore, and Tamika Catchings are? Probably not. These women are WNBA professional basketball players as well. They are also known as the best women basketball players in the world today. The WNBA Salaries Investopedia sees the women get paid a maximum salary of $105,000. The men are getting paid way beyond that for playing the same sport. Kobe Bryant, a player for the Los Angeles Lakers, his salary is $27,849,149. Lisa Leslie, a WNBA retired player who was the best woman player to step foot in the league, is making a maximum salary of $91,000. The difference between the men and the women basketball athletes are the women don't receive as much as attention as the men do. The men get a lot of publicity from college football games, college basketball games, college soccer games, professional football, and of course professional basketball, according to David Woods, who did an article on the salary paid between the men in the NBA and women in the WNBA. Did you ever notice that women basketball games have less audience? In 2012, it was recorded by the WNBA there was about 7,452 people that attended games. According to the NBA, about 20,283,156 people attended NBA games in one season. We see the big difference of publicity that the men get compared to the women.
It doesn't only occur in professional basketball games, but as a basketball player in high school, I noticed that more people come to watch boys basketball rather than girls basketball.
Men basketball and women basketball games are also controlled differently. Men basketball game referees allow the game to be much more physical compared to women's game. A foul in a women's game wouldn't be called a foul in a men's game. Tamika Catchings, a WNBA player for the Indiana Fever, states, "A single chromosome is the only genetic difference between men and women. If the Indiana Fever Ford had been born with XY chromosomes instead of XX, she might have been, well, another Kevin Garnett. That Y equals more than $20 million a year in salary. Reporter David Woods wrote, "Catching has been one of the world's best female players for a decade. She is the WNBA's reigning most valuable player, a four-time Defensive Player of the Year, and will be playing for her third Olympic gold medal in London this summer. Just like Catchings, Kevin Garnett, an NBA men basketball player, is an all-around player. He has been MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA and owns an Olympic gold medal. Yet Garnett makes a salary of $21 million. Catchings makes a maximum of $105,500 in salary. What is the big difference? Tamika Catchings has received the same acknowledgement as Karen Garnett, but one gets paid a whole lot more than the other." Tamika Catchings says, "When you look at it, even when you celebrate 40 years of Title IX and the 16th year of the WNBA, hopefully one day things will change." The men work out off-season, every day, training and conditioning. Performing is their job. The one thing that is holding the women back from competition with the men is their lack of physical capabilities, says a reporter, Jonathan Stevenson. Due to the fact that women are less physical and aren't as muscular as men, shouldn't determine that they should be treated less than. So why shouldn't women receive the same amount of salary as the men? The women of the WNBA are doing the same, training, conditioning, and spending time away from their family doing their job to perform. Some of these players are mothers such as Candace Parker. Tyler Durden, a reporter, states, "It is unrealistic for women to get paid less for the same amount of work as men. There are many reasons why women and men should be paid equally for the same job, and the sporting world it is no exception. Both the players of the NBA and WNBA have to dedicate their whole lives to the sport and practice every day so that they can hopefully have a chance of getting into these leagues."
In any occupation, I guess men and women should be paid the same for the amount of work they put in. So if the women are playing 80 games as well as the men, then they both should be paid the same amount. I know sometimes it's based on attendance to the games, but I still believe that men and women should be paid equal.
I believe women basketball players should be paid the same, if not more, than male basketball players. Why should they receive less compensation for doing just about the same things that, fair is fair. And I don't think they should be paid less. See that?
I believe that the female basketball players should be paid just as much as the male basketball players because they work just as hard as the male basketball players and they sacrifice just as much.
What is the difference genetically between a man and a woman? A single chromosome, XX for women, XY for men. On the basketball court, that Y is worth millions of dollars. The women are playing the same sport, making the same sacrifices, and working hard just like the men. So why can't that extra little X be worth millions of dollars also?